Is there a heaven?
Yes, I think so. And I think it must be just the right climate with lots of tall trees, and I don't think it's the same colour. It would be very nice there, and I don't think the people are solid. I think they're kind of transparent, and they live in lots of colourful houses with no servants, just to prove that they're self-dependent. I think that there's no such place as heaven or hell, because if there was, why don't we see souls, as they say, rising up to heaven or hell? Because if you're good, people say you go to heaven. If you're bad, you go to hell. But I don't think if you can.
Well, I agree with her, because if they say God is all around us, with all these satellites and rockets going up above in the air, then they would have to go through him or something like that. So I don't really believe there is a heaven or a hell.
My favourite Bible story is Noah's Ark.
Can you tell me about it?
Yes.
Yes.
What happened?
They built a big boat.
Noah built a big boat
with
for all the animals.
And when all the animals got in, it started to pour with rain. And it poured for 40 days and 40 nights.
What about Adam and Eve and Noah's Ark and walking on the water, Jesus walking on the water?
I think that science still proves that wrong.
Which one?
Well, that's Adam and Eve, because it says that the world started, I think this is, that something broke off the planet or something, and it cooled, and there was an atmosphere formed around it, and dust formed on the outside of it. And then life began out of little tiny things.
And there was no Adam and Eve?
No, I just think that was a kind of fiction story that was made up.
Well, why did Noah build the ark in the first place?
Because he didn't want all the animals to get flooded away.
Well, how many animals did he put on?
Oh, I don't know. But I know he sent them in by twos.
By twos?
Yes.
I don't know how many animals.
Why did he send the animals in by twos?
So, because the plank was only big enough
For two. And the doorway.
Do you know what God is like?
Yes, a bit. Well, he has a white cloak round him, and his shoes has 2 straps, and his toes are sticking out. He has a spear and 2 hands, and no face, and 2 legs.
He has no face. Why has he no face?
Because it's a spirit.
And they bumped into a rock.
Yes.
And then he sent one of the birds out to see them.
And it came back with a leaf.
It didn't bring a leaf back.
No, the first bird did bring a leaf.
It didn't.
Who's right?
I am.
No,
It didn't. He sent 3 birds out.
No,
The first one didn't
2.
bring anything back. The first one didn't bring anything back. I know, I've had the story more times than you. I've had it about 20 times at Sunday school.
Do you two ever sing hymns?
Yes.
Who do you sing them to?
God.
Have you got a favourite one?
Yes.
What is it?
Robin in the Rain. That's a song.
No, Gentle Jesus.
Which one?
Gentle Jesus.
Do you think you can sing it for us now?
Yes.
Go on then.
Gentle Jesus, meek and mild, look upon a little child. Pity my simplicity, suffer me to come to thee.
Do you think God would like that one?
Yes.
The way you sing it?
Yes.
Day at work starts with getting up in the morning. You think, oh, day at work ahead of me, and you go in the car. When you get in the doors, you might meet somebody, and have a chat, slip your overall on, and you go in the office and have a smoke, and the starting go, so you have to put your cigarette out and start work and legs on. And about 10 to 11, you have a drink of tea and a sandwich and a quick smoke, and then you start work again.
Should women, perhaps if they're mothers or not, should they go to work?
Yes.
No,
I should.
I shouldn't.
Don't be so silly, of course I should.
Well, why should they?
Because they got to earn a living, haven't they?
Yes, but they've got to look after the babies and do the housework and the tea
Well-
and the dinner.
Well, yeah, they could go to a nursery.
Yes, but sometimes little babies don't like going to the nurseries.
I know they cry, but they've got to get used to it, and you know that.
Why do you think women should go to work, Kevin?
Because it's in favour on the man keep on going to work and bending his back and keep on getting up to these jobs. And he had to do all the work instead of the lady. She ought to go and all and help him out.
Don't you think she does enough work at home?
Well, if she got some children about my age, she could tell them to do it.
How much do you think it matters that you're happy in your job as opposed to earning a lot of money?
Well, if you're not happy, you don't take so much interest in it. And you just say, if you're a postman, put the letters in the wrong doors. And
What sort of people are unhappy at their work, then?
People that have to screw tops onto the tubes with toothpaste all day long.
What's wrong with that?
They get all their arms ache and their hands ache and they get blisters on the fingers.
What would you do if you got a job like that?
I'd get another one.
Would you ever go on strike?
No, because if you go on strike, then it means you don't like your job. And it's better to leave your job and carry on with something that you think you like. But if you like your job, then it doesn't matter about money.
Can you tell me what a trade union is?
Is it some sort of protection racket that they used to have? It's not much needed now, I don't think.
What are strikes all about, do you think?
Well, it's usually men, and sometimes women, that want to get paid more than they have got. And it's what they have got already is usually sufficient. They only want more.
Why do you say that?
Well, I don't really know. It's just that, well, I think they shouldn't have strikes because it's rather like when you eat food, you always want more. It's being greedy.
Who wins with these strikes, do you think?
Most times the management.
Why do they?
Well, because they've got power. Because they pay the money and they want the money. So they come back, eventually.
Has your dad ever been on strike?
Yes.
What was it like?
He played card games with me.
All day?
Not all day. He played from about 10 minutes.
Did he seem worried when he was on strike?
Yes.
What about?
Because he likes getting on with his job.
If your husband went on strike, how would you manage to run a house and family?
I'd cut down on the pocket money. I'd cut down on the food.
I'd just buy some beans and bread and they could have beans on toast.
What do you think happens to people who don't do any work?
Well, they'll get weak because they don't do any exercise, and they won't have any food to eat if they don't go to work.
What do you think about their state of mind, though? What does it do to anybody who doesn't go to work, do you think?
Well, they won't have salt, and they can only live a little while without salt. And
Salt? Yeah. What difference does it make, though, to how much salt you've got?
Because if you don't have salt, your brain will go all mad, certainly.
Well, a rich man has usually got a top hat and a very smart clothes with silver around it, or gold, glitter stuff, or it might have buttons covered with gold or silver paper or something.
And a rich lady?
She would probably have a dress like an evening dress, but not as long, with gold buttons or silver buttons like the man, and It might have a very pretty cord hanging down from it, and a very pretty necklace to go with it, or something like that.
Do they look nice, rich people?
Yes, but they aren't really very nice, some of them, because they say, no, certainly not, I'm not going to pay as much as that, when it's something with a great deal of money, because they want to still have a lot of money.
They want to keep their money?
Yes.
Are rich people nice people?
Not very.
Why not?
Well, because they're too rich and sometimes they get a bit bossy.
What about poor people?
Well, they're all right sometimes, but they do steal things sometimes from other people when they're not looking.
What about you? Do you have a lot of money?
No, well, I don't expect so, but Mummy says we're middle class.
What does that mean?
Well, I don't know, but just middle class.
Would you like to be very rich?
No, but I'd just like to have enough money to keep going.
You have to work to be rich, and it takes you about 15 years to be a millionaire if you want to work really hard. But if you work only for a teeny bit, you only get a bit of money. You never know how much money you'll get in a year or so.
How much pocket money do you get?
2 and 3.
2 and 3?
Yes.
Why 2 and 3?
Well, we say that every time you have a birthday, you get threepence more. That was Daddy's idea.
Is it always 2 and 3 for you? Does it never vary?
No, not unless I get fined.
Not unless?
I get fined.
What does that mean?
Well, if you put your feet on the couch or something with your shoes on, then Daddy fines you something like threepence or sixpence.
Well, if somebody left me some money, I wouldn't take it, I don't think, because I'd like to work for all the money I get.
Why?
Well, because I don't think it's fair unless I do.
How do you mean?
Well, I don't think it's fair that if I get left money, and I could be quite well off anyway, that when it should really go to poor people who don't get left money like that and who work just as hard as I do, or perhaps harder, and they're poor.
What kind of people are you thinking about?
Miners and things like that.
What's your view about miners?
Well, I think their job is dangerous and they don't get paid very well. And I don't think it's fair. Anything, when you think of all the rich people, sometimes just sit in an office and answer telephone and read books and things like that, when some people are down in pits and they don't get half as much money, or a quarter as much.
What about when you grow up and you want to make some money? What will you do?
Be a diver or go to America and look for some stuff under the sea there, because there's supposed to be a lot under the sea there.
What sort of stuff?
Treasures and stuff, very old chests and stuff, things like that.
And would this be a good way to make a lot of money?
Yes, be quite a good way, but get some nice money, quite a lot of money for it.
And everything you get when you die, that's all yours then? Is it all the treasure?
Yes. No, half of it's the Queen's, but some of it's mine.
What about you? Where do you go for your holidays?
We go to Venice and Cannes.
What are these places like?
We had spaghetti, tagliatelle, and raviolini.
What did you think about Italian food?
It's quite nice, I think.
Which are your favorite restaurants?
Oh, the Chinese restaurant, because when we go in through the door, the people bow to us and say, "Asso, asso," all the time. And then we sit down, they take our coats, and we eat and eat and eat.
When you grow up and you have a home of your own, what kind of furniture would you put in it?
Georgian.
Why?
Because I don't like the modern. It's a funny shape and very small, usually.
Well, how does a girl go about getting the money to buy the things that you'd like to have?
Well, you can either marry some rich person and see whether they'll give you some money, Or else you'll have to see whether you can get a good job. But it's not very easy to do that, because a lot of people get there before you.
To get the jobs?
Yes.
Well, what about marrying for money? Is this easy or not?
It's not very easy, because you can't just come up to someone and ask them whether they'll marry you. You have to find out whether they have a lot of money and like what you're going to get.
What do you think it would be like to have a great deal of money?
Well, I wouldn't like it, but I think that if I did have a lot of money, I'd make a school for the rich people and the poor people to join together. Because I think that when the poor people are separate from the rich people, they don't feel as though they're in with it, and they feel worse than they already are.
Do you think people should have a second chance if they've done something wrong, Jane?
Well, sometimes they deserve it, yes.
When do they deserve another chance?
When they haven't quite killed the person, just harmed it very badly, or something like that. But when they've really killed the person, I think they should go for lifetime.
What's the worst thing you've ever done?
Nipped out of my bedroom when I wasn't supposed to. Went playing football and got myself as mucky as anything.
Did you get found out?
No, I had a wash. Nipped in through my bedroom window, went to the bathroom, had a wash.
Mummy smacked me with a jam spoon.
With a jam spoon? What do you have to do to be smacked with a jam spoon?
Well, sometimes I hit my brother and sister, and sometimes I hit Sooty and Skippy.
And what do you think when you're smacked with a jam spoon?
I think I'll never do it again.
Do you do it again? Do you think it does any good to send a man to prison?
Yes, but I think they have an easy time. They've got nice beds and nice pillows. And they've got lots of freedom.
How bad should it be?
Well, it's according to what they've done. Like those train robbers, they should be killed. And the assassins and all that. But like here in America, it's better there. They hang them, electric them. In a year, though, we just give them about 25 years at the most. Then they go free again. Then if they're still alive by then, they go out killing again.
What's it like in prison, do you think?
Well, there's only one bed there, and there's little windows with bars down them, and then there's a sort of cage all round. Yes.
What's the cage like?
Well, it's big, thick bars like this, put down the side and then about 1 or 2 across, and a door so that people can give them their food.
What sort of food do they get?
Usually bread and milk, or milk and water, or something like that.
What's the best way to punish grown-ups for doing things wrong, do you think?
Well, killers should be done the same to them as they've done to others. And I think these ordinary criminals, maniacs and all that, should be sent to Vietnam to fight there. And then if they get killed, it's their own fault.
What about prison?
Oh, they're too sort of happy. They got television, food. They're almost there. They're better than we've got here now.
What do you think should happen to people who have committed crimes?
Well, I think that they shouldn't go to prison the first time they commit it, but they should be put on television in front of all the people to look at them, and someone who's got a lot of nerve to really tell them off and make them feel ashamed of themselves. And
Who should do this, do you think?
David Coleman, Cliff Mitchell, or someone like that.
What sort of a person do you reckon you are?
Oh, well, I haven't really got a temper, but what really makes me mad is the English view about Ireland. They all think it's little whitewashed cottages with thatched roofs, and they have wee half doors with pigs looking in and things like that over the top half of the door. And I think it's a wrong view.
I think I'm short-tempered because at times I could be, pretty calm and good-tempered. But like my brother, for instance, I'd be watching a program, I'd be very interested in it, and he's mad over sport, and he would want to change over, switch over to another channel to see sport, and that would really get me angry because, I feel like, volcano where it just comes slowly up, the lava comes up and then bursts out like that.
People call me Ginger Bop, but I don't think my hair really is ginger. I think it's red, and when they call me names, I don't really let them know that I'm going to go for them, and they say I get a kind of sick in the stomach, and my blood boils up, and I clench my fists, and I look at them in the eyes like this, and then I run after them. And they usually run away, but sometimes I get them and I punch them. But I don't like the name Ginger Bop.
Well, what does guilt feel like?
Well, it feels as if you're sort of sweating and you're burning up inside like a fire, and you're sort of roasting, and then if you tell somebody about it, it just cools down again. It's like falling into the bathtub after coming out of a fire.
But if you tell somebody, you can get rid of this.
Yes, you can get rid of it. It helps a great deal. Most things like this, jealousy, hate, things like that, it helps a lot to tell someone.
In what way, then, does it help?
Well, it's like a donkey in a cart. If a cart is full up with, if the donkey could talk and he told the farmer that he had far too much, say, coal in the back of the truck, or in the back of the cart, then the man took a whole lot of took, say, half the coal off, that would be like taking off. It's just something the same thing as that.
That would take the load off?
That would take the load, practically most of the load off the donkey, and then the donkey would feel better again. Then he knew he wasn't being hit, it was just a mistake on the man's behalf.
And if you have something that you're guilty about in your mind, you tell somebody else?
Yes, it helps a lot.
Sometimes I do not really like or rather getting a new pair of shoes, a new pair of socks, as long. If he gets a new pair of shoes and I get a new pair of shoes, it clash. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything. But if one of them gets it and I don't, I feel muck. Mad. I'm really mad. Yeah, I'm ready to box him. If you know what I mean. Where there's a stick of dagger on him. You know that kind of a feeling. Glass feeling. You can break his neck.
And where is this feeling inside of you?
Sometimes it comes from inside you. When you get them in a minute, you're going to go.
You're all dressed up for a wedding.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
What are you all?
I'm dressed as a bridesmaid.
Have you ever really been a bridesmaid?
Yes.
What was that like? What happened?
Well, in church I had to work for a bit with my mummy, and I had a basket full of flowers and I had a hat on. You have artificial flowers, do you, Claire? Well, any kind, really. I will really have artificial.
What about you? Have you ever been to a wedding as a page or an attendant?
Well, I was invited to be a page, but I wasn't very happy with the idea.
Why not?
Well, because when we went to the practice in the church, the clothes, well, they were sitting like a girl, like hipsters today. They were made out of silk, red silk. There was a white shirt and a red dicky bow. I don't like the idea of that. I just said that I'd look a sissy with those clothes on, and they, just gave me a look.
What kind of a look?
As if to say, well, you were all right, but not spot on.
Does this mean, then, that you haven't been to a wedding?
Oh, yes, I went to the same wedding, and I was sat on the back row. I'd rather be on the back row than the front with the pages.
Well, when people want to get married, they can either get married in a church or a register office.
What's a register office?
Well, it's somewhere where you can get married without letting people know, and it's quicker because you don't have to have confetti all over you, and it's quicker, really.
But why should someone want to be married quickly without anyone else knowing?
Well, sometimes they want to get away from home and they want to get married, you know, quietly and without being disturbed.
What age will you get married at, do you think?
18.
Why?
Well, my brother and sister are always bossing me about and having fights and I'm always left out.
Well, I like going to weddings. You get lots of food and you have chicken. I got chicken, cabbage, apple sauce, cabbage, and we had jelly and tarts for fruit. We had jelly and tart and trifle, apple pie, cream tart, and meat pie, liver, and steak and kidney pie, and meat pie.
All at a wedding?
Yeah.
What was the best part about it?
Or the reception, especially the cake, where there was some silver threepenny bits in, and I got 2, and I also got a lucky horseshoe.
What happened after the wedding? What did you do then?
I went out and I went in the pub to have a drink of orange.
You what?
I went to the pub to have a drink of orange and I went upstairs to have my tea with Mummy. Nicky passed in to go to the toilet.
What are you dressed as?
A broad
A what?
A broad maid.
A broadmaid? What's that? Have you ever been a bridesmaid yourself? Would you like to be? Why? Why would you like to be one?
I'm going to marry you.
What?
Marry you.
To marry me?